that's my name. So I'm the manager for CryptoNage. I'll I'll be the one. We are just going to wait for more members to join us right now because I can actually see we only have like one person in addition to to us. Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm just going to wait for more members to join us right now. So um, you know, oh, shit. Um, um,
Okay, so in the meantime, while we'll be waiting for others, can you tell me how did you end up, guys, here in the group in Crypto in Web3? What's the story?
is that what? Is that what? Sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay, so I've said in the meantime, why we'll be waiting for others, what is your story? How did you end up
Okay,
here?
all right. That would be interesting actually. So I actually joined crypto in 2017, December to be precise, December 2017. So I started out like before I actually joined the crypto space. I was doing some other writing, like more of general writing, in the web too. So I write real estate, for real estate companies. I write for, I do kind of general writing, more like research writing. Before a friend of mine invited me, to join the crypto space. So I the market in 2018, I lost most of my investment then. So it was a bad experience at that moment. It was actually a bad experience at that moment, and I couldn't get the ride for some time. So until after that event, you know, I was like, okay, let me learn more. Let me even learn more about this technology, blockchain. Read a lot of white papers, Bitcoin white paper, and I was actually intrigued by what the technology has to offer. Yeah. So I was intrigued by what it has to offer. Then I, took a step further, like to know more about it. Took some other courses, like different courses online, just to get acquainted with with the industry more. So and right now, yeah, fast forward to 2022, 2021, yeah, I started around, I think sometimes in 2021, I actually started, you know, my, let's see, my community management. I started as a community manager, as a I started my career in community management here. So let me just say it that way. So and working in the space has actually been interesting. However, of course, that's actually been very, very interesting. Yeah, that's been interesting. Like getting paid in crypto, especially. And it's actually something I actually enjoy doing. Writing for writing in the crypto space. And recently, I got a job on. I'm actually currently working with with different what was it called? Marketing agencies in the crypto space. And I recently I got a job on crypto.news as one of their writers. Yeah, so that's where I am at the moment. So what about you? Do you mind sharing your story as well?
Yeah, of course. Thank you for sharing like your story. Appreciate it. So before I started writing, like I've done a ton of research, ton of reading, because generally I got introduced to crypto in the early 2020. But before I was living in the, let's call it, I was living in the world of tech, or like tech related world.
Okay.
Let's call it like that. So crypto has like become a natural evolution of interests, and for like more than a year I was like reading a ton of articles, like in general consuming a lot of content and trying to learn as much as I can and as efficiently as I can. And only after that it was like near the end of 2021 I began writing, because I thought that I have something to share. That's the first idea, and the first reason that I thought I had something to share, some useful knowledge, maybe for some people, as I've seen many things happening, not only on the crypto market, but some, let's say, market and technical experience prior to crypto. So that's quite my angle on the market, if you will. And the second thing about writing is I found that I learn even more efficiently when I write, because I was
Yeah.
doing some research like on various projects, various trends, let's call it, just for myself, and I was sharing it with friends and so on. But the moment I started writing, it's just became more efficient. I had to be more cautious with what I write. I had to like double, triple check everything, not to like confuse anyone or not to include any mistake, like not to misinterpret something even. So I had to be very cautious, and like slowly but surely I decided to write those articles, publish those. I began with with my own website, but then I shifted towards Medium and Hackenen. To be honest, I began posting on Hackenen thanks to um, Officer CIA. That's the handle of the guy on Twitter. He's into security, like not only crypto related security, but cyber security in general. And I saw his tweet. I've chatted with him for a moment, and then he told me that there's a site like called Hackenen, and you can post some stuff there. So that's how I learned about Hackenen. And like today, mostly I write stories and post it on the Hackenen. Like Hackenen is the main focus, although When you want to publish, like there's plenty of spaces to publish, like not only Medium. Um, like, it depends. I see that Medium is more like that self-development, self-help articles, like very short, like 4 to 8 minutes, like 10 minutes at most of reading. Those articles are really trending. But if you want to do a very thorough research, like crypto related research or like any research, not to leave any like blank spots and to explain everything to the reader, that it just has to be long. There's no other way. If I make it short, there's some confusion, and it's even from the experience as I was new to crypto and as I was reading articles. The short ones were nice, but there were not those like in-depth uh, articles. Like you have some shallow knowledge of something, but you cannot go in depth um, in the short article. So I would say that that's how I became a writer. It was like an evolution after doing a ton of research, and then I thought that maybe I will write something on my own. We'll see how it works. I see that the moderator has escaped. Yeah, antivirus is raising a hand sign here. I'm not sure. Does anyone know if there's a chat to the conversation here? Oh, Shivia, you're back. Shivia, are you there as a moderator? Because I got a couple of questions I want to ask you, but I don't know if you hear me.
I I guess that Achiever is having issue with his internet connection at the moment. So for the time being, I would like to fill in for him. No, I have a couple of
Mhm.
questions to ask with respect to your experience as a writer. Like when you're just starting out as a writer, what are those things that motivate you to actually improve your craft as a writer?
I would say that, there are many people who write in the space, and there are many styles and topics you can cover, and you have to pick at the very beginning what's your end goal, what do you want to do, and what's the end goal with your writing, whether you want to earn money with your writing, be some content writer for a project, whether you want to be a researcher, a technical writer. There's a question at the very beginning. My idea, my goal with writing is like twofold, I would say. That the first is to learn more efficiently, and the second one is to just meet people, because it's easier to meet people, to talk with people when you're active in the space, when you do something productive for others, when you share some thoughts. You're slowly building your reputation, let's call it. Some doors can open, and some opportunities might come to you. So the end goal of mine, that drive, let's say, to master my craft, was to be as good writer as I can, and hence bring some quality and knowledge to people, to the audience, to readers. Um, so I would say that's the end goal I want to achieve, but it's a long way, and many things may happen along the way. Like, it's not that I've been a writer for a long time. It's like 1 year and a half at most, but I've met amazing people along the way just because I'm writing. And I've met amazing people from the crypto space, who are doing like very interesting things, like researching stuff, have their own teams doing research. I have also met quite influential people, you can say that, in the crypto space, just because I'm writing, and some people find some quality in the text that I'm providing. And it's not that I publish everything I write. There are some research and writings I do not publish. Those are rather niche or like private ones I share just with some people, and just to see whether they will find it valuable. So the end goal is very important. Like, what's your end goal? Because without the end goal, you don't know what to do along the way. It's like you don't know which way you want to go. So for me, it's like connections, reputation, building some knowledge, and learning along the way.
All right, thanks so much for that insight. Now, Chiva is back again. You can continue from where I stopped.
Okay, great.
Uh, so the session is actually meant to last for like 45 minutes, and we'll take questions for 15 minutes. So
Okay.
I don't know. Are you done with Are you done, or do you still have, or probably we still have more to talk about? From you, based on the experience you've garnered so far.
Okay.
Because I wasn't around, like I had a connection issue, so I had to go away for a while until now.
Yeah, I saw it that she wasn't here. Yeah, yeah. So what's the question once again? Because I think I haven't heard the question.
Yeah, so we would like to we want you to share your experience with us. What made you a successful crypto writer, and because why you were able to actually dominate on Akanon, and win a couple of awards on the platform and recognition on the platform. So, can you share with us, what made you stand out of the crowd as a crypto writer?
Okay, so it's very subjective opinion, and I cannot say for sure, yeah, because like my opinion towards my writing is rather subjective, so I cannot say for others, but I try, like, my goal with the articles is to provide the highest quality possible. Like it takes me a lot of time to write the article, and those are pretty long ones. And at the very beginning, like even before you will start writing, you have to know your audience. You have to know the target audience. So I was aware that writing very long articles and very, like, some in-depth articles, it's not that those will be viral articles. I knew that it won't be quite popular and so on because it's too long. People don't like long articles. Like, I mean, people in general don't like long articles. And but it's not that I was aiming at being like the most read writer, but I was aiming at providing the highest quality I can. So I talked with people who read the articles and who read the research papers I've produced, and they told me that despite the fact that those are quite lengthy articles, they find it very valuable because it's easy to follow. It's not as technical as some people might write. I mean, technical, like it's explained in rather simple manner. Like it's easy to follow. It's easy to grasp the idea, and maybe this one was what made me a good writer. Maybe this one made me earn those words, let's call it. And but you know, as I said before, you have to specify what your end goal is. For me, those awards are like a nice addition to what I struggle, to what I strive for and struggle along the way. Because like for me, those are connections and, you know, getting to those valuable people. And there is a difference, you know, let's say 100 people or like 1000 people will read your article, but those will be people who are new to crypto. It's great, they will learn something, hopefully, but there's a difference if some rather influential person in the crypto world will read your article and will find it very useful. So, you know, it's just, as I've said before, you have to know your audience. And I try to structure the articles in a way so that everyone will get something from it. But you have to be cautious because when you're writing for everyone, you're writing for no one. Yeah, like you cannot be vague. My approach is I try to write the article in a way so that when you're new to crypto, let's call it. I mean, crypto Web3, uh, whatever. It's like more or less same concept. And when you're new to this, you will get like 20% of what I wanted to share. And like the more you know, the more you're into the Web3, the more you'll get from the article. Like, let's say if you're more advanced, you will get, let's say, like 50, 60%. But if you're like quite very advanced, Like you will get 100% out of it. So like, everyone will get something from it, but the more you know, the more you'll get from, like, the more you understand, because I might explain some things in the articles so that it's easy to follow for those who are new, but there are some novelties that you won't think of if you're new. It's just you will not connect the dots. So I would say knowing the audience and writing the text in a way that you know who will get most from it is what will make you successful along the way. Like it might take time, but when you'll find your audience, if you know your end goal, you will be successful this way or the other. Of course, it depends what success means to you. Yeah, that's the other way. Uh, so, for example, the articles I publish on Hakkinen, I would say those are rather easy to follow. And recently, I was writing an article about remote procedural calls in Cosmos ecosystem, like some technical writing for developers. And it's not something I'll publish on Hackingen. It's like very, very technical. It's very niche, and let's say you can be very advanced in crypto, but you like won't get almost like anything from it unless you're a developer. So it's not that everyone will get something from it. It's like just a small number of people will get something from it. So yeah, I would say if you want to write those articles, just try to aim at writing something that everyone will get something from it, but the more advanced they are, the more they will see, the more insight they will get from it.
All right. Yeah. Thanks for the advice. So I would like to like now there's some what I do notice about new writers is that they have issue with you know sorry, are you there? More than
Yeah,
your
I'm
mic.
here. I'm here all the
Okay.
time.
All right. So what I do notice about new writers is that they have issue with putting themselves out there, like gaining the kind of visibility they need, like they want, um because they don't know how to do it. Yeah, I feel they don't know how to do it. That's why they have issue with actually having the right visibility. So if I'm going to ask you that, okay, now how were you able to actually get the right visibility in the crypto space? Yeah.
So once again, I think we'll come back to the issue who's the audience and what the visibility is. If I wanted to grow the following and be visible, I would write like threads and articles about some trends, like short articles, uh, rather short and easy to follow threads on Twitter. But it's just like uh, writing about something that's hot right now. Like it will get you the audience like instantaneously. Yeah, and especially when you will be controversial in some way, even more. But it will give you that visibility, but it's not the visibility I would like to have. And as I've said before, um, I try to write those articles to have that visibility among those rather more advanced people, let's call it. And the most interesting talks are not in the comments on the Twitter or in the comment section under the article. The most insightful and significant talks are via direct messages and on the conferences and so on, when you meet people who are rather advanced in that space, who like know a ton of stuff, and then if you talk with them, you get a different kind of visibility. It's not that social visibility you will get by trying to follow those hot topics and hot trends. Like, I'm not an expert here because that's not the end goal of mine, but I would say I got that visibility among the people I would like to get that visibility because I wanted to provide that quality over, let's say that, quantity and so on. I don't care how much articles I publish. I might publish one article per month, one article per quarter even. But it's not that I care much about the audience retention. It's that if someone finds my article valuable, like, they will wait. I write only when I have something to say. And I would say that some articles of mine, because those are rather niche articles, because they are long and so on, so some advanced and influential people find some quality in it because there's not much of those articles in the space. Like when I talked to like various projects in the crypto space, there is a demand for content writers, and many projects said that there is really a demand for content writers. But what content writing is, it's very subjective writing about the project. And if you want to do that, the doors are open. You just have to be quite good at writing. And how to be good at writing is another topic. We can talk about it in a moment. But being a content writer for social media is more like writing threads, writing short, catchy articles, and just being optimistic about the project you're writing for. And I prefer to be rather objective about this space. If I don't like something, I'll just say I don't like something. If I very much like something, I will say I like something, despite the fact that someone might say that it's just a waste of time. Yeah, if I like it, if I find it valuable, I will say it. So that's the difference in my approach to writing. It's not that I started writing because I wanted to find a work of being a writer, and especially being a content writer. Nowadays, I'm writing research for some projects, and they gave me free hand. What I want to write, I will write. If I like something, I will write that. I will like something. If I, for example, like recently about Aptos, yeah, like there's so much hype about it, but for me, it's a trash project from the very beginning to the very end. And I don't have to hide it while writing the research I'm writing, because that's my opinion, and the project and like people from the project respect it. That's my opinion, and based on the experience, they trust that I know what I'm talking about. And it's not that It's just an opinion article. It's like I gave various examples why I think it's this or that way. For example, about Aptos, but it all comes back to what's your end goal. Yeah, well, what kind of writing do you want to do? What kind of visibility do you want to have? Because you can have like 10,000 followers, but those are people new to crypto that won't get you, they won't open as many doors for you as like one influential people might. So you know i I know a few Twitter accounts. Those are like very small followers. Let's say like one account is like 1,000 followers, but it's but that person is like one of the most influential insiders of the whole crypto market, and he's got like 1,000 followers. It's not the following that you will have to strive for. It's the end goal that you have in your mind and the kind of visibility that you want to get. You have to answer yourself those questions. What kind of visibility you want to have? What kind of people you would like to meet along the way? And what kind of articles do those people find valuable? And if you can answer that question, like those questions, in plural, you will have a chance to get there slowly. But no, it's more about that bigger picture, um, about writing down the strategy, I would say.
All right, all right. Thanks for that. Um, you talked about like saying it's actually subjective to you know the issue of visibility is actually subjective based on the kind of based on the end goal the the writer actually want of the writer rather based on the end goal of the writer. So so now I will actually want to know that um like now you said because there's actually another thing that came up like while you were talking. You said
Mhm.
the having determined having known your end goal, you have to come up with a strategy. Now, coming up with a strategy might actually be another issue we have to deal with here. So I don't know what advice are you going to give, to these people, like to a new writer, as a new writer, that okay, how do you come with a strategy? Because I believe such person might actually find it difficult to actually come up with any strategy, being a new person.
Okay, so like assuming you're new to writing,
Yeah. You say what?
no, it's like assuming you are new to writing and you want to be a writer, you have to
As
answer that question: what kind of a writer you want to be, what kind of writing you would like to do.
yeah,
You
now
know,
like now,
mhm.
okay. So now, like, let's say I'm able to determine the kind of writing I want to do. Yeah. So I might actually have an issue like coming up with a strategy to actually tackle that kind of writing. Like, okay, such that it will actually give me the visibility. It will be like I'll be able to, meet my end goal at the end of everything. Like, yeah, okay, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to achieve in so time frame now. But now, what I'm actually saying is that as a new writer, having determined, let's say now as a new, I'm actually a new writer, and now I know what I actually want to write on. I know the kind of writing I want to do. Uh, Another issue I might actually have now could be the issue of coming up with the right strategy. Like, okay, how do I go about devising this strategy to, potentiate the kind of writing I want to do? So, what do you think? What would be your advice on that? like the strategy aspect now.
Just to clarify, if I got your question right, is it about the strategy how to write the article you would like to have, or is it the strategy to get as much visibility from your article?
Yeah, now the strategy I'm not actually talking about now encompasses those things you just mentioned. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but I'm a
Yeah.
bit confused when it comes to the question. I'll be blunt here.
Okay, now the strategy to write the content. I'm talking about the strategy to write the content, as well as the strategy to gain the right visibility I actually need for my writing. So that's what I'm actually saying. So what would be advice on that?
Okay, so when it comes to, let's begin with content.
Yeah.
When you're writing the article, like at the very beginning, you have to have that like general outlay. Yeah, so like some scaffolding of the article. So let's say just some names of paragraphs and so on. Do some research, find the resources you would like to include in the article. Have that solid foundation onto which you will be writing. It's just as if you will be writing some, not like academic article, but something similar. You have to find the right structure. And I will mention some people here. Uh, when you are new to writing, you might have um, come across the person called like David Perel. He's doing the writing. He's like, I think he's one of the most followers on Twitter, but he's more like a general writer, some self-development, some writing development stuff. And like, or like, let's say there is also like Dinky Bash with Nicole Cole. They are having that ship 30 for 30, something like that. And there's that community of people, bloggers, writers who will produce their writing. And each of those writers there, or like even David Perel and people who want to learn from him, each of those people will have a different strategy towards the writing. And because the length will be different. For example, the outlay of the article will be different because some of them might write very general articles, and some of them might write very like detailed, in-depth articles. So like here, the list of contents will differ. Yeah, like for example, I always begin with a list of contents. If I want to write the article, I come up with a list of contents, then I will find the resources, some links, articles, whatever, and on top of that, I will write what I think about it. Just following the list of contents that I've got. So let's say I have like 10 things I would like to include in the article. Yeah, so like the introduction with a proper hook sentence, yeah, and then some paragraphs and the conclusions. But you have to have it at the very beginning because otherwise you will end up writing and you don't know if you're in the middle, if you're in the conclusion sections. You will not only confuse yourself, you will also confuse the reader. So your article has to be very clear from the very beginning. Like when you begin the article, you want to know more or less how it will end up looking. So when it comes to the strategy of writing the article, you have to write it's not that you have to, but it's very helpful for most writers. You have to have like clear list of contents, clear thoughts, what you would like to include, and on top of that, when it comes to the language, because almost every commercial you see, whether in TV, on the internet, and whatever, everything tells a story. Even if you don't see a story in the commercial, it's there. But if you don't see it, it's the best one because you cannot see it. Yeah, because it's hidden, but it works on you. So your article has to have some story in it. You have to have that storyline, kinda. And I know it's very general and vague what I'm saying now, but if you want to be a technical writer, there's not much of a story you will include in the writing. But if you're a content writer, every piece of writing has some kind of a story. And the better the story, the less visible it is. Because like every one has some narrative in their life. And your story should also have some main narrative. You have to have those clear points throughout your whole article. For like in my life, I had like so many books. I just I don't know how many. I stopped counting, and like those are like very different books. So there's that base layer of how stories are written, for example, and there's like very many, not only articles but some outlays. For example, I think there is a free ebook from Dickie Bosch. You can find him on Twitter or just Google him. He has that project for new writers, and there was in the past, but I think still is a free ebook, and you have some ideas there, like how to start the article, what, like how to set your goals throughout the article. So like what would you like to include? How do you think it will end up? um, uh, but still, as you've said, Shavir, I was talking about that end goal and knowing what you would like to do. And you've said that you know what kind of articles you would like to write. That's great. So you know the way you want to follow. So yeah, and like the more articles you write, the better those articles will be when it comes to the quality. And now going to the visibility. If assuming you know your target audience, yeah, so whether you want to follow those trendy subjects and have those large following, but of like general people, because let's say if you think about Twitter accounts or like any social media account that has a very large following, let's say like I don't know, like hundreds of thousands, yeah, those are not very niche accounts. Like there are very many people from very different spaces that find what this person is doing valuable because it's not some high level stuff they explain. So, and like on the other hand, like the great one, the greatest developers or like the greatest technical people in the space, have like very little following because they write about some high-tech stuff that not many people understand. So you get the visibility by knowing your audience. And if you know your audience, you have to be consistent with your writing because, for example, like I know my audience, those are rather like advanced people who know technical stuff, and those people don't care if I post like one article per month or one article like every 3 months. They will find it valuable and they will read it. So it just I know who's writing my articles, um, and and that's why I know that consistency it's not something I have to think about and I have to stick to because like in my case the consistency would kill the quality. And if you want to, for example, like grow that large following, you have to be very consistent. So let's say you have to set up a schedule and you post like that schedule to for your readers to know when to expect that you will drop your piece of writing or a thread. So let's say you will post like 5 p.m. on every Friday or like every Friday and Wednesday, 5 p.m. Yeah, let's say. And if you will be consistent, like more and more people will come because if those are rather short texts and general texts, the people will come. Yeah, but it's like knowing your audience and like quite possibly this will be rather general audience. Yeah, you will grow the following and so on. That's great, but it's just what kind of audience you want to have, what kind of writing you want to do, and if you know that, it will be easier for you to gain the visibility you want to. Because, for example, if I got the visibility like like thousands of followers, like it's okay, but I will not care to retain those followers by being consistent. I just like pleasing that large audience that want general stuff will not be my goal. Do you know what I mean? What I'm up to? Shkaya, you there?
Yeah, I'm there. Yeah,
So, just tell me whether what I've said was clear or not.
yeah, it's actually clear. Yeah. So, so the summary of what you said is just, as a new writer, you have to start from, identifying your audience and write for the audience, like for that particular audience. Okay. So, and when it comes to building, you know, following, maybe on Twitter or any other platform you've actually chosen to use as a writer, then it has to be consistent, right? So I think that's just the summary of what he said. And now we actually said something about. You also said something about once you are able to identify your audience to like the article writing process, is actually another thing too. Like when it comes to you have to read, research and read about what you actually want to write because before you can actually write something for any other person. It's just like you are giving an explanation about a subject to someone. So you yourself is actually very important for you to understand the subject you're actually writing about. So so that's just it. So thank you very much for this session. So I'll just direct this to the um to our attendant. Is it attendant? Yeah, like probably if they have any questions to ask you or they need
Hmm.
any clarification of what has been said. So if anyone has a question, can actually identify. I mean indicate. So
Okay, so we are moving kind of to that, let's say, open questions section. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And just I wanted like one more thing.
All right.
Uh, if someone, if you come up with some question later on, you can find me on Twitter, yeah, and you can send me a DM with some question. I will try to answer. Like, if you want to, if you have some question concerning the writing or just some, general stuff, you can just drop me a DM and I will try to help you as much as I can. Yeah. So just like for your own notice, if you'll come up with some question afterwards. But yeah, now if there are any questions, like feel free to ask. I will try to answer.
All right. So if you have any question, you can actually ask now. Yeah. Mm, does anyone have any question? Or let me see. Engineer AB has some contribution or any other thing to say.
Okay, so
Yes, thank
let's
you
say
very much.
mhm. Okay, yeah, yeah,
Thank you very much,
go.
modern Eremites. I hope I pronounced that correctly. We learned a
Yeah,
lot
it's
from
correct.
this session, and guys, we have the recorded version of it that the community can listen to and gain more insight into cryptocurrency and Web3 writing from that. I want you guys to go on Twitter now and search for the word modern eremite. Then you find his Twitter handle and follow him right there on Twitter. And if you have more questions, like he said, you can always send him a DM and get more insight and more clarification about that question that you may have. So I'll go on Twitter now and copy links to some of these articles on Akanon, okay, if that is permissible, and share with the community so that they can read his article and even gain more insight about the kind of articles that he writes. So thanks so much for being a part of this conversation, and thanks a lot for accepting our request to join these hangouts on Telegram, because it seems like you're not so used to Telegram and you had to make that kind of sacrifice to be here. We pretty much appreciate that a lot. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. The pleasure was mine, and I hope all of you, like fellow writers, good luck in your endeavors.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
All right. Guys, have a great day. I got to go now. So bye.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye bye.
All right. Thank you.